Hello, folks, and welcome back to another edition of 5 in 5, the program where Malden Public Library staff recommend 5 books in 5 minutes. My name is Cait, and in honor of National Native American Heritage Month, I have 5 books you should absolutely request from the library. We are very fortunate that more and more Native and Indigenous authors are getting wide distribution. Their contributions to all genres of fiction and nonfiction enriches and diversifies our selections and perspectives. And it gives more opportunities for communities that have long been underrepresented to have their voices acknowledged and respected. My first book is a work of nonfiction by David Truer. The title is The Heartbeat of Wounded Knee: Native America from 1890 to the present. The received idea of Native American history, as promulgated by books like D. Brown's mega bestselling 1970, Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee, has been that American Indian history essentially ended with the 1890 massacre at Wounded Knee. Not only did 150 Sioux die at the hands of U.S. cavalry, the sense was Native civilization did as well. Growing up Ojibwe on a reservation in Minnesota, training as an anthropologist, and researching Native life past and present for his nonfiction and novels, David Truer has uncovered a different narrative. Because they did not disappear, and not despite, but rather because of their intense struggles to preserve their language, traditions, their families, and their very existence, the story of American Indians since the end of the 19th century to the present is one of unprecedented resourcefulness and reinvention. My next book is The Night Watchman by Louise Erdrich. You might recognize Erdrich's name from the bestseller list, or from her many awards. The Night Watchman is her latest work, and is based on the extraordinary life of Louise Erdrich's grandfather, who worked as a night watchman and carried the fight against Native dispossession from rural North Dakota all the way to Washington, D.C. This powerful novel explores themes of love and death with lightness and gravity, and unfolds with the elegant prose, sly humor, and depth of feeling of a master craftsman. All of Erdrich's books are delightful, and if the wait is too long for this title, check out one of her many other books. My next recommendation is the short story collection Dance Boots by Linda Lagarde Grover. In this stirring collection of linked stories, Linda Lagarde Grover portrays an Ojibwe community struggling to follow traditional ways of life in the face of a relentlessly changing world. With its attention to the Ojibwe language, customs, and history, this unique collection of riveting stories illuminates the very nature of storytelling. The Dance Boots narrates a century's evolution of Native Americans making choices and compromises, often dictated by a white majority, as they try to balance survival, tribal traditions, and obligations to future generations. Now, for those who enjoy fantasy and/or apocalyptic fiction, I highly recommend Rebecca Roanhorse. The book is Trail of Lightning. While most of the world has drowned beneath the sudden rising waters of a climate apocalypse, Dinata, formerly the Navajo Reservation, has been reborn. The gods and heroes of legend walk the land, but so do monsters. Maggie Hosky is a Dinata monster hunter, a supernaturally gifted killer. When a small town needs help finding a missing girl, Maggie is their last best hope. My final book is a mystery recommendation for those of you who really enjoy the Longmire series. The title is Winter Counts by David Heska Wanbley Wyden. A Native American vigilante for hire takes his most personal assignment in this debut. When the American justice system fails a distressingly common occurrence in the Rosebud Indian Reservation in South Dakota, Virgil Wounded Horse is the guy you call to mete out punishment on his own terms. even if you're a tribal councilman looking to get heroin off your reservation. No sooner does Virgil begin to track down who's smuggling the drugs and eliminate the problem, with the help of ex-girlfriend Marie, the councilman's daughter, when he suddenly faces a more immediate problem. His nephew Nathan has been caught with enough prescription pills in his school locker that he could receive 30 years in prison. As he works to hunt down the drug dealers and prove Nathan's innocence, Virgil must reconcile his actions with his rogue nature and natural suspicion of working with a police force that hasn't had his tribe's best interests at heart. All right, folks, that's my 5 and 5. Look in the description for a list of these and other titles to request. Thanks, and happy reading.